the difference between a $100 pair of jeans and a $20 pair of jeans, not that big of a difference. The difference between a $100 pair of jeans and an $800 pair of jeans, life-changing.
Really?
And he's like, I bought these jeans. I swear to you, I have not taken them off in 2 years. But our good friend Dean Del Rey, who's got a special coming out next week, and he always says that if you go on eBay, you can find like $400 or $500 pairs of Japanese denim jeans. You can find them for like $50.
I would love to know from Dean Del Rey, like, what's the best denim to get from Japan? Yeah, just to see how they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, how they caress my legs and calves.
Yeah. Are you a big calf caresser guy?
Yes. And other things.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? It's Michael Yo. Welcome to the Yo Show. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We really, really appreciate it. The show is growing, we're growing, and we appreciate you. So, coming up, Austin, 18th of April, we will be there in Austin, Texas, Moon Tower Comedy Festival. So excited. Me and Rudy got a show there. It's going to be awesome.
Thompson Theater. Never done it. Here it's great.
I've never done it either, but I'm very excited about it.
Can't
I'm
wait,
very
man.
excited. I love Austin. Have you ever been to Austin?
I've done it twice. I've only performed at Vulcan both times.
I have also performed at Vulcan.
Yeah. I've been to Creek and Cave. I've done shows there, like helped people out. Like I helped shoot a couple of specials for some people there, but I've never actually done the room itself. I've never been on stage.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Vulcan was a great room, but man, I can't wait to this Thompson Theater. We're close to selling out, so make sure you get those final tickets. MichaelYo.com. Then where are we before the break? We're in Boston.
Yeah. And then we go to first it's Portland, Portsmouth, and Boston, all three.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to Portland. I've actually done all three. I've never performed in Portsmouth, but I've been there. I worked at a radio station that was in Portsmouth. So it was, I'd have to travel there once a week from Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited and then I have a big announcement in a couple of weeks I can tell you guys about. It's pretty big. It's not going to my single at all through any of this. It's just staying wide.
Right,
it just went right now. Look, we're trying out this new camera system, this Rode video.
And of course, now that you say
and
it,
now that I
keeps
say
falling
it,
back
now
over,
it keeps going to me, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong with this Rode video, but it's just weird. Okay, so whatever.
You gotta scold
we'll
it.
make it work, but you'll be able to edit after if I'm not in any of the podcasts.
Yeah, we can do. Yeah.
See, you go, and it puts you on. Okay, now it wants to play right. All right. So I want to jump into this because everybody's talking tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get your take because I have my takes on tariffs, but I think I'll give you a little summary of what I think. I think it's the right thing to do, just execute it terribly. Because, yes, our country has been, for years, decades, being taken advantage of from other countries.
Mm-hmm.
But we do not have the infrastructure in America to take those jobs back. He's like, America, we need to bring these jobs. Nobody's working in a factory for less than minimum wage to make shoes, T-shirts. And that's what I'm saying. The argument is just ridiculous because the other country, I know he's trying to here's why he's doing it. He wants to be like, look, I scared everybody and they calling me and they're saying, please, don't do the tariffs. He wants to, his ego is driving this.
Sure.
And for him saying stuff like, you're going to have to hurt for a little bit, but it's going to be better in the long run, when it's really not, because those jobs he's talking about will never come back to America because Americans don't want to do them.
I agree. Over the weekend, I was at the father-daughter dance with my daughter, who goes to school with insanely rich kids, like stupidly rich kids that drive G-Wagons to their school.
That's
you know what
ridiculous.
I mean? Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
Luckily, we got in on the poor kid scholarship. That's how my daughter gets to go to that school. But this weekend, I'm at a table with three incredibly affluent, very successful guys who are all talking about this.
So they must have stocks.
So they have
stocks.
Yep. So they also have a lot of input and insight. And one of the guys, and all three of them agreed that when India was the first to go, okay, we'll play, that was a big indicator to all the other countries. Hey, he's not messing around. Okay, so let's just. We have been taken advantage of for a long, long time. Maybe it is time that we start to give some stuff back to the country that's given us so much. So a lot of countries are probably going to fold in a while. It's just going to take a little bit longer than what he thought it was.
There's no folding.
You don't think so?
Because what's the end game? For products to be made in America, correct?
I don't think so. But
that's what they're saying.
Of course, that's what they're saying. I don't think that's what it is, though. I think it's they want to be able to get their products at an even cheaper rate in a different country. I don't think they care about the fact.
Wait a minute, hold on. I'm confused because tariffs, we're taxing them, and Trump is saying, "I want more jobs in the United States." There's no jobs coming to the United States.
That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying, so what's the benefit of all this? So they lower the taxes on American goods going over there?
Yeah, because there's a lot of places that are like 30 to 40%.
No, I understand. So is that the move?
I would imagine, yeah.
So why isn't he saying that?
Well, if you say that, you got to make it look like you got to rule with an iron fist, regardless of what because somebody even said like, oh, look at this guy, the guy who wrote the book on, the art of the deal. He can't even, make deals with tariffs. Okay, this is the long game. This is not him. Like, see, here's the problem is that every time I talk to somebody who makes a valid point, there's 7 other people who make other valid points. And then I go, well, as a moron, I don't know what to believe with anybody.
I agree with that. You are a moron. I'm playing. That's a joke. But my thing is, if the end goal, which you don't think it is, but what they're saying is to bring more jobs to America. That's not going to happen.
No.
Now, if your end goal is, hey, you know what's going to happen? Is we're going to take those jobs. I mean, we're going to take tariffs and interest rates. And I mean, people are going to lower the tariffs against us. When our products go over there, instead of 45% or 30%, it'll be 10%.
Yeah.
That's great. And I guess that puts more money back in America. But I mean, for all these Americans struggling, and I do believe in struggling because I don't think enough presidents say that. Like, we need to go through a hard time to be in a better place.
Sure.
They just lie and say things are going to be okay. Like, I believe if Trump would have handled COVID like this, instead of denying that it wasn't around when there was phone calls of him saying, oh, this is coming. I think if he would have just came out, people would have been better prepared than, oh, it's just a flu. It's just this. If he would have said, hey, this is coming and we're going to suffer a lot. That prepares America for something.
Well, you can't say that because the other side is saying that. When Democrats are saying that, then he has to be the one to go, listen, you're going to get the sniffles. You'll be just fine.
So you're saying it's all political?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the worst, man. Why can't these politicians just do stuff that's good for America?
Well, you'd think that would be the case. They haven't been doing anything good for America forever. It feels like the last time we had that, it was a guy who had polio sitting in front of a fire. That was the last time we really, took charge.
And you know what's funny to me about these tariffs? And like I said, I don't have lots of stocks. I have some. But what's interesting to me, we talk about how the rich get richer. I was in, and let me tell you this. I forgot to, maybe I did mention to you. I was in West Palm Beach this weekend. And I went to this area there's this hotel called the Breakers. And talk about a place where the Trumps would hang out. I don't know if they do, but it is that type of place.
Sure.
My friend runs restaurants over there. He took me out to all the hot spots, and he knows the Trumps, right? So it was interesting dynamic where you're surrounded. Like the cars that were pulling out the valet were Bentley SUVs, were Lamborghinis. Like there was no poor people in this place. Like fathers had $80 million houses. There were clubs down the street that it was a $400,000 initiation fee just to have dinner at this place. But all the heavy hitters go to this place because they know scrubs like you and me can't get in there, right? They do big deals in this place. And I go, I understand by being in that area, if you see the Trumps around, they're in your circle, why you wouldn't want that circle to end. And for these people that lost $7 to $10 million in stocks, that's nothing to them because now they're buying the stock at such a low price that's going to recover.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sure, absolutely.
So it's actually, if you have enough money this is not a big deal to you because now all you're doing is buying the stocks for even cheaper, and you're going to make double fold the money. So it's kind of like the rich getting richer. Yeah, you lost 10 million. Guess what? That will recover. You'll get that back. And now you bought the stock again for a third of the price.
Yeah.
And just being around that atmosphere, just being around those people, you get how you don't want anything to infiltrate that type of place, that type of environment, that type of city. The city is called Jupiter, right? The breakers aren't in Jupiter, but Jupiter, Florida is where all these people live, like the golfers live and everything. And it's interesting being around that much money, you know? And you could understand it's like, if you made it that big, then I can see why you want to be a Republican. You want to keep all your money. And even if Trump, like defending Trump, well, we need to suffer.
Yeah.
But any other president that says that they don't like is like, well, they're taking my money. You know, and that's where the BS.
I know that's the problem. Is like all these politicians talk about like, you know, it's rigged against you. Oh, really? As you're saying that from your $480 million mansions, like, dude.
And my thing is, I don't hate on those people with those, because a lot of people, like, you hear a lot of liberals, and which is interesting. A lot of liberals will say, "Oh, it's just the billionaires running everything." Where I think the liberals, one point liberals have, they push for big, like, more taxes. So a lot of liberals are rich too. Let's not just pretend all Republicans are rich. A lot of liberals. So they're actually endorsing getting taxed more. Where the other side is like, we want to cut taxes because you don't want Jupiter. You don't want to affect these people over there. You know what I mean? You don't want to affect all this money in Jupiter and all these people that make these decisions and all these millionaires. Where I do respect the liberals on one side is that, hey, we're pushing for more taxes, and it's going to affect our rich people too. And the rich people are the ones out there saying, yeah, we need to do this. You know, the problem with the liberals, and I've said this plenty of times, they have no teeth. They're weak. They don't know how to make a case. They rather whine than actually do actions.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why Trump, and I don't like Trump. I'm going to be very clear. And I don't like the tariffs. It's not really affecting me either way. I mean, it could in ticket sales down the future if people losing money. But what I do like a president saying, we're going to suffer, even though your suffering is because of my bad decisions at the time. Because really, to me, the tariffs mean nothing because it's not going to get you to the end goal you say on TV, bringing jobs back to America. It's not going to end that way.
Yeah.
And what it's doing is really hurting the companies that actually moved out here, like Honda, that moved their companies out here to try to make you happy, because they're dealing with, now they're in America, and now to get all their parts, and they're being charged more now.
Sure.
So it's really not the end goal. Like, that's what I don't like. It's tariffs. I don't mind the president saying we need to suffer. But the problem is, like, the end goal it's muddy. It's not a real end goal. And you don't even agree with the end goal he's saying, and I agree with you.
Yeah. I remember in 2008 when the housing market crashed and everybody lost their 401ks and blah, 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 and all this shit. After all that stuff happened, I was like, oh, I guess I'm fine. So I must always live in a recession. I must always be poor because I didn't notice anything. Nothing changed in my life. My parents were pulling their hair out. Oh my God, nothing. I was not affected by it. Now we're going through the same thing, and it is 16 years later, and I'm like, still doesn't bother me. So I've gone nowhere in the last 16 years.
No, but
I haven't moved up the ladder at all.
For it to really affect you, you have to be, I hate to say this, living on a poverty level, and maybe I'm wrong in saying that, or you're ultra rich. But when you're ultra rich, you're buying everything up because you have so much expendable cash. Yeah. It doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter
because
anyways.
You're buying the stock so low now.
Yeah. So but 2008 when the housing market.
Hold on. You know where it does affect you though? If these companies aren't hiring, you can't get a job. That's how it really affects you. Because if these companies I was listening to a couple podcasts where companies move from China to Vietnam to move their companies, and now that's getting a tariff of 40-something% or whatever it is. So now they can't make that up. Their products say $10. Now what does Tariff say they're $12? And I'm giving an example. Now they're $12. So now the customer is, instead of $10, they're getting a product for $14 or $15. And a lot of people, like if there was the example that guy gave, we sell a $20 hamper. Now it has to be $30. Some people will buy a $20 hamper. A lot of people won't buy a $30 hamper. So we can't make up that cost. So what's the biggest cost to a company? Employees. So now you're going to have to start cutting jobs. And that's if this thing lasts for a long time. Right? Which I don't think it will. I think this is I'm the man, bow to me moment for Trump, and he just wants to pull that off.
Yeah.
I told my friend who's friends with all the Trumps, I don't think Trump does anything to, like, he's never looking out for the country. He's looking out for himself.
Sure.
Because he's egotistical. But if it happens to help the country, he'll take credit for it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. It's like a parent who doesn't care about their kid's sporting endeavors, but when the kid wins a championship, hey, guess who was driving him to all those practices all those years? It was like, yeah, but you also left me at practice for an hour and 45 minutes after practice was done because you were at the bar. So
it made you better, Rudy.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It made you a better person overall. But I just think we wanted to start with tariffs because I wanted, like, I try to stay in the middle as I can. And I like I said, the positives. I like presidents telling people you're going to go through some stuff instead of sugarcoating it.
Sure.
I don't like the way he's going about it. I think, yes, we've been taken advantage of and something needs to change, but he did it wrong. He did it at least have the infrastructure in America before you're like, let me give all these tariffs. So if you want to really bring the jobs back, boom, they're back.
Yeah.
You got stuff going. You're like, all right, let's hire people. We can go. You're just talking words, just pushing other countries to bow down to you. And then what's going to happen, and I'm looking at you, what's going to happen, this is going to all play out when he goes, hey, you know what? They bowed down to me, so I decided to let go of the tariffs, and now the stock prices are back up because of me. Because of me.
Sure, yeah.
But it had the stock prices are up because they were up. They were way up. But what he's going to do is make them go down and then say, see, look how much they're up. It's like, no, but you caused them to go down.
Yeah, well, I think they're down, but I think if you look at the whole picture, they're still up from what they were. You know what I mean? You look at 5 years ago, they were down here. Then they got to here.
Yeah, but we're looking at his president. He had nothing to do with that, though. You know what I mean? Like, we're looking at his presidency.
Sure.
And his presidency, he took it when it was booming.
Yeah.
And now it's not. But if you get it back, but like, here's my thing about stocks, too. They go down, they go back up. You just got to hold on to them.
Yeah.
You know, the people that get in trouble where they don't have enough money to hold on to it, because now, and I don't know enough about stocks, but I think if it reaches a certain level, you have to start paying out for it on different types of stocks. I know my dad plays this game where he sets a price of a stock. If it goes under that, then you have to start coming out with the cash to pay off that debt, and you actually have to buy the stock. But if it stays over your price, you get to sell it at the end of the week and not even have money move. You just bought it. You know, it's a weird. I even explained it wrong, but I don't even know what it's called.
So much. Oh my God! There's just so many days I just want to tie a boat anchor to my foot and just throw it over the side of a bridge.
Well, I have never felt that, Rudy. But like I said, we're not economic guys.
No,
and stuff.
of course
This
not.
is just an outsider. This is just just a person in America that sees what's going on and knowing it's all a smokescreen, because we're never going to have those jobs in America, because now people are getting paid $15 to $20 an hour, and your shirt would be $1,000 to be made here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not I'm joking. Some people take it literally, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but one day we'll both make enough money to buy $1,000 shirts, and I'm not going to care about the little person.
I would never buy $1,000 shirt.
Never? Not
Never.
once?
I
Okay.
could be a billionaire.
Really?
Why would I buy a $1,000 shirt?
You know what though? I'll tell you this. So when I was working in radio, 93X Minneapolis, doing afternoon drive, Chris Cornell, one of the greatest singers of all time, Soundgarden, Audio Slave, came into the studio one day and he was wearing a pair of jeans, and somebody had commented, "Oh, I like your jeans," and he goes, "Thanks." He goes, "I'm going to sound like a big time rock star. They're $800." And he goes, "Here's why they're $800. Because when I was growing up," he has a line in one of his songs, I'm feeling Minnesota, but I'm looking California," which means he would come to Minnesota, him and his family, and he would go sit up on the bluffs in Stillwater, and he would write poetry, and he would write songs, and he'd hang out, and he'd look down. He's like, I look like a SoCal guy. I got the hair, I got the cutoff shorts and the Chuck Taylors, but I just kind of want to hang. I just want to be a guy who just hangs out in the woods and fishes. I just want to be that guy. So that's where the line came from. And he always told himself, no matter what, I will never spend money on frivolous things like expensive clothes. So fast forward, he's always bought $20, $30 pairs of Levi's. The guy is worth $80 million.
Yeah, 100%.
Finally, his wife goes,
Yeah.
hey, do me a solid. Buy one pair of jeans that are insanely expensive, that you don't buy yourself anything. You have enough money to buy and sell whatever you want. Do this for yourself, please. You always look like a slob. It'd be nice to be able to go out with you. And he said, fine. So he went down to like some high-end store and he put on an $800 pair of jeans. And the second he put them on, he thought his life had changed, because the difference between a $100 pair of jeans and a $20 pair of jeans, not that big of a difference. The difference between a $100 pair of jeans and an $800 pair of jeans, life-changing.
Really?
And he's like, I bought these jeans. I swear to you, I have not taken them off in 2 years. And I'm like, dude, I get it. High-end denim. You know how like when you wear jeans for a couple of days and they loosen up? He's like, they never get baggy. They never stretch out. High-end denim is where it's
I wonder what
at.
brand they were.
I don't know. But our good friend Dean Del Rey, who's got a special coming out next week, he is a big denim guy. And he always says that if you go on eBay, you can find like $400 or $500 pairs of Japanese denim jeans. You can find them for like $50. The best pair of jeans you'll ever buy.
Really?
Yeah.
On Amazon?
On Amazon. Well, eBay is where he says you
eBay.
find a lot of people, because it's a lot of thrift shops and stuff that sell them. But he's like, if you can find it, buy it. It's
I
worth
would
it.
love to know from Dean Del Rey, like, what's the best denim to get from Japan?
He did a whole podcast on it.
Really?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll find it.
Yeah, I would love. Yeah, just to see how they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
how
rad.
they caress my legs and calves.
Yeah. Are you a big calf caresser guy?
Yes. And other things.
Yeah.
What else we got, Rudy?
Did you see this story? I was laughing about it the other day. People are up in arms about the fact that there are two, not one, but two biological males who are now females who are winning the pool championships. I believe it was in England is where I saw it.
Wait, explain it. So they were, explain
They're
this. to me.
biological males.
So they were born men.
They were born men
Mm-hmm.
who are now females.
What do you mean now? Like,
They transitioned into females.
okay, got you.
They are winning the female, like eight ball pool championships.
Okay.
Like billiards, right?
Oh, pool. I thought
Yeah.
you meant swimming.
No.
Ah,
Billiards.
okay,
Yeah.
got you.
So they're people are up in arms about it right now.
So men, they're saying men have an advantage in pool, like as well because they're stronger.
I have no idea how. I feel like I have lost as many games to men as I have women in billiards.
I understand swimming, I understand athletic sports. I don't know. I guess I would have to understand what advantage a man has over a woman in like pool, the art of shooting pool.
Yeah. I have no
Because
idea.
I don't know how much strength comes into it. Like,
I feel like none. I feel like there'd be no strength. It's all geometry and it's all finesse. It's less about.
so are they? They're not mad. So they're not saying a man has the advantage. It's just messed up. A man is winning a female competition.
Yeah. Also, I don't understand why you have to have male and female pool competitions. Like I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, why do you need both?
So-
like this should be one.
I was talking to Eddie Izzard, and he long time ago. This is probably not Eddie Izzard. Eddie, comic, L.A.
Eddie
Not-
Griffin.
Eddie. No, it's white
Eddie.
guy.
Oh,
Blonde hair.
blonde hair. Oh, you're talking about Eddie?
Eddie F.
Eddie
Is
F.
that Eddie F. Right?
I just opened for him a couple weeks ago. Great guy.
Eddie F.
Yeah, in Minnesota. Yeah.
No, you opened for a different guy.
No.
I
Trust
thought
me.
it was the guy with Ari.
Yeah, I opened for that guy too, but I opened.
Let me make sure
when I
because
say-
Eddie F is a great guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to say. I want to make sure it's him.
Yeah.
Let me make sure.
When
Yeah,
I say-
Eddie F.
Yeah, when I
Eddie
say a
F.
couple weeks ago, it should have been a couple months ago.
Months
Yeah.
ago. Okay, yeah. So Eddie F. Because he brought up that question. You know what I mean? Because in the green room, a lot of comics talk about this. Some for, some against. And he goes, what's interesting? He goes, because his whole thing is we're coddling to a very small part. And this is not me saying I want to make sure. And I shouldn't be speaking for him. But his whole point was if everybody's treated equally, right? then it's kind of like, why have a male and female pool tournament? Why don't I just have a pool tournament?
Mm-hmm.
Why have an NBA and WNBA? Just have an NBA. And he thinks if this agenda is being pushed and companies start getting on board with it, then you're going to lose a lot of female sports, because they'll be like, all right, well, we'll just have one, because we don't want to fight this battle. A lot of companies, he thinks, and this is his opinion, because a lot of companies are going to be like, it's so hard to navigate anymore. Who's right? Who's wrong? So you know what? Let's knock out female sports and let's just do NBA. Let's knock out this and let's just do that. And like, he thinks it really could hurt female athletics, because it'll muddy it up so much, because you never hear the problem of a woman going into a male sport.
Yeah, well, I think you can have it on a case-by-case basis, but I don't need to have a male-female darts competition. Like, how about you guys just go up there and just throw darts?
One side will say there's probably an advantage of being like a pool tournament. I don't know enough about pool, and if anybody watching this, you could tell the advantages. Please leave it in a comment if there is any advantages of a male over a female in playing pool, not swimming. I get that, but like actually pool.
Yeah.
I mean, please leave in a comment, or darts.
Yeah,
I don't know.
If anything, I think women would have an advantage. Like, maybe they're just a little. They don't have as much meat on their hands. You know what I mean? Like, when you're using the pool stick, there isn't as much there to get caught.
I've seen some women with man hands. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
They got big hands too.
Yeah. You really have dated the spectrum, haven't you?
No, I see them on TV with their big claws. When they reach for the screen, it's like,
that's right, Kelly Ripa. And your giant man hands.
I don't know about Kelly Ripa. I haven't really looked, but you notice I interviewed a lot of people, and I've seen some big hands on women. But that's interesting. So they're mad that a man is winning. Two men are winning in a female competition when they're transgender.
I don't know. I was having such a hard time, because I get like why you don't want, transitioned females in boxing. I get that. I get why you don't want to have a transitioned, male to female to join the WNBA. I get why people can be upset about that. MMA, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Volleyball, I totally get it. That poor girl got spiked in the face, almost lost her eye because of it.
Do you think, though, that was because a man hit that ball?
Yeah.
When I saw that, I didn't know, like, I don't know, so a female couldn't have done that to her?
Well, I'm not saying a female couldn't have done it to her, but you probably get a little bit more heat behind that ball when you got a dude who's 6'4", probably I would imagine so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If somebody were to go, you can either take a ball off the face from Dikembe Mutombo, or you can take it off this 5'7" high school.
Clark.
I'd be like, you know what? Yeah. Tig Notaro could hit me all day in the face with a volleyball. No problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw this change of subjects. I saw Naked Gun coming out with Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Did you see the trailer?
I saw the trailer. It looks great.
Did you like the OJ? I love the OJ joke.
The OJ joke at the end was great. Yes.
I grew up with those movies. I absolutely love those movies. We'll put the poster up right here if you didn't see it. That Liam Neeson, I think it's so weird. This dude can go in between movies and he never really misses a beat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't want it to come out because they're so attached to the old one.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be great. I love him as this character.
Yeah, they're doing it right. They're making it a continuation instead of a new version of it. So it's Frank Drebin's son. It's like all these guys are the sons of the people from the originals, which I think is fine. Once you start, Point Break, in my mind, is one of the greatest action movies of all time.
Point Break?
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze?
Yeah. I was like, I don't need a second version of that. And then they did it, 10 years ago, and it sucked. And
so they tried to make not a continuation,
not a continuation, just
the movie.
Yeah, they tried to reboot it, and everyone went, we don't need a reboot of that. That's dumb. That's why there's just some movies they don't want to touch anymore. Like when they did Bill and Ted, there was some talk, do we just do a brand new Bill and Ted? And it was like, well, the guys are still here. Keanu and Alex are still here.
And then the lingo doesn't even work anymore.
I agree.
It's so old.
Yeah.
It was so catchy back then.
Yeah.
Dude, because that's the way people talk back then. But now it almost looked like, ugh.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those, it would be one of those photos you look back on and go, I wore that. And it'd be like a movie you were like, oh, I used to like that.
Oh, I've done that many. I tried to watch American Pie when I was like 31.
Is it not good anymore?
Oh, it's awful. It's so bad. I was like, this is my favorite movie. When I was 15, I was like, oh, yeah, dude, when he proclaims, everyone gets laid. I was like in the theater, like, yeah. Now I'm 31. I'm like, hey, it's 9:15, guys. Wrap this up. You know?
I mean, I'm excited for that. If an old school movie I remember that they could never make today, and I don't even remember the content in it, but I remember it was risque for me. Porky's.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't that a frat movie?
Kind of. What was crazy about it though was it was this sort of like, I don't know, like softcore kind of B movie, but it had humor.
Softcore. It had like sex in it.
A lot of sex. There was, I don't know if you remember, like the beginning of it is they steal, like back in the day, you know, like the projectors. They steal a projector at school and then put a porno movie on it, and they're watching it at school, and then the Miss Ballbreaker comes in.
It's so amazing you remember all this.
Oh yeah, I love those movies growing
up.
What was crazy about it though was like that movie was supposed to be kind of fun and campy or whatever, and then there was this guy who was the quote unquote villains at Porky's, who was just like the craziest racist ever. He was just like, instead of just like trying, it was one thing to like take down the town, but then he was like dropping the N-word and calling people
really?
Jews. Oh yeah, man, go back and watch.
Oh my goodness,
wild.
I haven't seen that. No wonder why you don't see it pop up anymore.
No, it's very.
That's one they want to forget.
Yeah.
Wow, I do want to watch it again. Though.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I saw boobs ever. I was like, oh my God. I was on Airplane. Movie Airplane. I think the lady was running through and it was like, boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This is amazing. I remember that on.
Mom's like, why do you have the Airplane VHS cassette under your mattress? You're like, no reason.
It's my favorite movie. It's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
You know what? We're using this new program. I think we need to put you on high too.
Yeah.
Because we're both, because sometimes you'll be talking for a couple minutes and it doesn't even go to you. It's just on me looking at you.
That's right. We're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out, people.
Yeah.
But it's working decent.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I've been kind of catching out of the corner of my eye over a little bit.
Yeah, big shout outs to Roadcaster, man.
You know what's funny though is the second you bring it up, you go, oh, it's not really popping over on. Do you now see it just keeps popping over?
It does. Isn't that weird?
Wild. Huh. I don't know.
It hears us.
Yeah.
The AI.
It knows.
That little computer is in that talking noise about me. I'll show you. I'm gonna put the camera on you when you say. But when you don't really look at it,
yeah.
Like you were talking one time for like a minute. It was just on me looking.
Just on
at
you. Yeah. We're gonna wake up with an HDMI cord wrapped around it.
Sure. That'd be crazy. AI comes to get you. All right. Anything else already?
I'm gonna be in San Diego this weekend.
San Diego. Wells, vagina.
I will be there on the I think it's the 11th and 12th. No, 10th, 11th, whatever this weekend is. I think it's the 9th today, right? I think it's the 9th, so 10th. So yeah, probably the 11th and 12th. I will be there. Yeah, I'll be to San Diego, the American Comedy Company. Got 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday.
And one last thing I want to end on. This is pretty crazy. I saw an Instagram video, a reel about it. When you go to Japan or other countries, Asian countries, you can rent old people. Have you heard about this?
No.
Instead of a tour guide, it's almost like you rent an old person and they share wisdom with you. Like you can rent the type of old person you want. You want just for touring. Just to show me around. You can rent an old person for wisdom. That'll show you around, but also is very talkative and like gets into deep conversations with you.
Wow.
And these are like 70 to 80-year-olds that this one 20-something-year-old guy rented. And it was pretty cool because he said he picked a category where you could learn life lessons from him, talk books, talk all types of things, mental growth, and it was pretty cool to watch. Because he goes, these people are old and they just don't have anything to do. So you can, and it's fairly inexpensive, but they take the place of a tour guide. They'll show you all around town.
No kidding.
They're older, so they know everybody.
Yeah. And
then you have questions for them. They will answer it and give you wisdom about their experience if they've encountered that.
Wow.
That's amazing. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't been to Japan as of recent, but
have you ever been to Japan?
No, never been to Japan.
Okay.
But
ever?
But I would like to rent some old folk. So, I don't have a guy in Palm Springs anymore, so I guess I got to go to Japan.
Renting old people, that's different.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Larry David, got a hooker so he could ride in the Diamond Lane.
What? Oh, in the Curb?
Curb Your Enthusiasm, yeah.
Well, I can understand that. Yeah. That makes sense, though.
Yeah, rent an old fogey, throw him in the passenger seat so you can get through in traffic. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I don't want anything for you. Just sit in my car all day.
Yeah.
Hopefully he kept the air conditioner on when he left the car.
Cracked a window like a
Crack
dog.
a window. Well, in Teslas, you can just hit the dog button and it'll just cool the car off.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to leave your kids in there, but you can hit the dog button. That's what I've been told. Never did it.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told. Then it has an automatic lock.
You know who would say never did it? A guy who did it.
Did it. No, I've actually never did it because I'm in an older Tesla and doesn't have that function. My wife's Tesla has that function.
Yeah.
You know, I get all the scraps, Rudy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Pay for everything, get sick and
The
fiddle.
only thing I get is in this room.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's nice. Yeah.
Got your little footy pajamas and a little blankie.
No windows.
No window. Yeah,
it's like I'm in jail.
Yeah.
With all this great equipment.
Podcast jail.
All right. That's the week in 15 minutes. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that button. Also, April 18th, we'll be in Austin. Then other dates, michaelyo.com. Let's sell out Austin, Texas. You know my name was Johnny Blaze when I lived in Austin, Texas. Did you ever know that?
Get out. Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze.
What are you, a rap battle-a-thon master? Like
So
what?
what's interesting, you know that's a rap name.
Yeah.
That's a Wu-Tang name.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the story. In Austin, Texas, I worked for a radio station called 96.7 KHFI. It's called 96.7 KISS FM now, I think. And I was the afternoon guy. I got hired as a night guy and then moved to afternoons. But my first day, they were like, Michael Yo sounds too hip. Because it's top 40. And this is different. You're talking about late 90s where they just started playing Getting Jiggy with It. Like that was like, I remember being in a conversation, I don't know what year this was, but where they went, do you think Will Smith is too urban? Because remember, in the 90s, they didn't play rap music except like MTV.
Mm-hmm.
MTV, Yo MTV Raps, that was it for an hour. Most of it was rock, alternative rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was in a meeting they brought me into, maybe because I was the only ethnic person. And this was in Houston. They go, do you think this is too urban to play on KHFI? And it was a Will Smith song. I was like, no. And it blew up. It blew up, right? So that was the first one. I don't know if it was Jiggy with It. It could have been something else, but it was a Will Smith song. And that was the first time like rap really went all over the radio and went really pop, you know? And so they thought my name was too urban. The reason why I tell you that story, so you know why they thought Michael Yo was too urban, because Yo was attached to Yo MTV Raps, hip hop. So they go, I got to change my name. And I was kind of mad about it, right?
Yeah.
So I go, they didn't know. So I said Johnny Blaze, because I knew what member of Wu-Tang? Is that Method Man? What member of Wu-Tang was named Johnny Blaze?
Here's an answer from fandom.com.
Method Man. Yeah. His name was, Johnny Blaze. That was his, like, another AKA, John Blaze, Johnny Blaze. So I was like, all right, Johnny Blaze. Because I knew it was Wu-Tang.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, yeah, that sounds great. That's right down the middle, very palatable, as they said. So literally for 10 years after I left, I would go back to Austin. They would call me Johnny. People would stop me on the streets and go, Johnny, Johnny. So I was Johnny Blaze in Austin, Texas when I first started.
Man.
Johnny Blanzini.
You guys get all the cool names.
Oh, stop it.
Dude, are you kidding me? The guy I grew up listening on the radio was named Bill Jones.
That is a very boring name.
That is the most white milquetoast name ever, dude. You get Johnny Blaze, great name.
Yeah, and especially if you know it's Wu-Tang. So, I felt like I won because they didn't know it was Wu-Tang, and it was more urban than Michael Yo, but they had no idea.
Yeah, that's great.
So I won.
Good for
I
you.
won. All right, make sure you follow us. Rudy, where are you going to be one more time?
I'll be in San Diego this weekend, Friday, Saturday, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday.
What club?
At American Comedy Company.
Who you with?
Adam Carolla.
Oh, Corolla. We love Corolla. All right, we will see you next time right here. See how it's on you still? Oh, now it went to me. Right here on This Week in 15 Minutes. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. Like, subscribe, all that. Later.